Okay, it's movie plot time once again. This time, we're going to be doing a big Spy Kids franchise. But I'm only going to do 1 through 4. I'm not going to do their latest one because that's the only one I haven't seen. Don't ask why I chose to do 4. But I'm going to do the first one, the second one, the third one, and the fourth one. So let's not waste any time and get into the world of the Cortezes. So, Gregorio and Ingrid Cortez are spies with 2 children, Carmen and Junie, whom they shield from their lives to protect them from inherent danger. They work for the organization of super spies, better known as the OSS, doing office consultant work, but are suddenly called back to active field work to find missing agents. Gregorio suspects children's television host Vegan Floop has kidnapped them, mutating them into his Fooglies, creatures on his show, a program that Junie avidly watches. The children are left in the care of their uncle, Felix Gum. Gregorio and Ingrid are captured by Floop's Thumbs, the robots whose arms, legs, and heads resemble oversized thumbs, and taken to his castle. Felix is alerted to the parents' capture. Capture activates the fail-safe and tells the children the truth about their parents and that he is not their uncle, but an agent sent to watch over them. The house is attacked by ninja Thumbs, and Felix is captured while the children escape alone via a miniature sub set to autopilot to a safe house. At the safe house, the children accept that their parents were spies and decide to rescue them. Inside Floop's castle, he introduces his latest creation, small child-shaped robots, to Mr. Erlisps. They plan to replace the world leaders' children with these super strong robots to control the world. But since the androids have no artificial intelligence yet, they are unable to function outside their regular programming. Lisps is furious, demanding usable androids. Floop, with his second-in-command Alexander Erminian, interrogates Gregorio and Ingrid about the third brain. Ingrid knows nothing of it, while Gregorio claims he had destroyed the brain years ago. After Floop leaves, Gregorio reveals to Ingrid that the third brain was a secret OSS project he had worked on, an AI brain with all the skills of the entire OSS. The project was scraped as being too dangerous, and many scientists demolished the brain that they were working on, but Gregorio refused to destroy the final prototype. And at the safe house, Carmen and Junie are visited by OSS agent Miss Gradenko, giving Carmen a bracelet as a sign of trust. She asks about the third brain, but Carmen is confused. Gradenko orders the house to be dismantled, and the siblings realize Gradenko is a traitor when they see Ninja Thumbs destroying the escape sub. With Gradenko's intentions revealed, Junie accidentally exposes the third brain, and a chase ensues. Carmen gets the brain, and she and Junie escape. She realizes too late the brain from Gradenko has a tracking device, and she and Junie are attacked by their robot counterparts, who steal the third brain and fly away. Meanwhile, back at the castle, Gregorio tells Ingrid that Minion used to work for the OSS, but was fired after he reported him tampering with the third brain project. With it, Floop can achieve his goal, but he wishes to continue his children's show. Minion has different plans and takes over, locking Floop inside his virtual room, the chamber where he films his television series. Carmen and Junie receive reluctant help from Gregorio's estranged brother, Azair Machete Cortez. When they show up at his spy shop, he refuses to accompany them, so they steal some gear and take his spy jet to fly to Floop's castle. After a few mishaps, Carmen and Junie eject themselves from the plane before it crashes into the castle, and they enter via the underwater entrance. With the children infiltrate the castle, Junie rescues Floop, who helps him and Carmen release their parents. Together they trap Minion in Floop's Fooglies machine, mutating him into a Foogly, confronting Lisps and Grandanko. The family is beset by all 500 robot children. Suddenly, Machete busts through the window, reconciling with Gregorio and joining the family to fight. However, at the last moment, Floop reprograms the robots to change sides. The 500 superhuman robots quickly overpower Minion, Lisp, and Grandanko. With advice from Junie, Floop introduces the robot versions of Carmen and Junie on his show at home. Sometime later, the family's breakfast is interrupted by Devlin, the head of the OSS, with a mission for Carmen and Junie. The children tell them they will only accept if all the Cortezes can work on the mission together as a family. That movie just never gets old. You gotta love Spy Kids. My personal favorite is number 2. Spy Kids 2, The Island of Lost Dreams. So let's get into this Island of Lost Dreams. So Carmen and Junie Cortez are now full-time agents of the OSS new Spy Kids division. They face fierce competition from Gary and Gertie Giggles, who are the children of one of the other members of OSS, Donegan Giggles. After the Giggles siblings outperform them on a mission to rescue the president's daughter, Alexandra, Carmen defends Gary, straining her relationship with Junie. At the OSS awards banquet, Donegan hacks into the president's teleprompter and is named director of the OSS instead of Gregorio Cortez. Shortly after, the adults are incapacitated by a group of Magnamen who are after the Transmuker, a device that can shut off all electronic devices. Gary causes Junie to drop the Transmuker in a scuffle, allowing the Magnamen to steal it. Gary then blames Junie for the theft, causing him to be fired from the OSS. Carmen later on hacks into the database, reinstates Junie's agent status, and assigns to them the assignment to recover the Transmuker, which was called the Yukata assignment, which was originally assigned to Gary and Gertie. They find a mysterious island where no electronics work. Meanwhile, Gary and Gertie are rerouted to the Gobi Desert. And while trying to pinpoint their position, they fall into a pit of camel crap, whereupon they swear revenge on the Cortez. Upon reaching the island, Carmen and Junie meet Romero, a scientist attempting to create miniaturized hybrid animals to sell. Instead, he accidentally douses them with a growth concoction, causing them to increase in size. He also reveals that he created the Transmuker to hide his island, meaning that the stolen Transmuker was a prototype and the real one is on the island. Too afraid of the large creatures roaming around, Romero shows Carmen and Junie the way to the real Transmuker. After being informed of their disappearance, Gregorio and Ingrid begin tracking down Carmen and Junie, joined by Ingrid's parents. Carmen is captured by a flying pig and dropped into a nest with Gertie, who tells her that Gary is genuinely evil. When he attacks Junie, Carmen incapacitates him, encouraged by Junie. Romero leaves his lab and finds his creatures much friendlier than he thought. Carmen and Junie eventually find and recover the real Transmuker, eliminating the cloaking around the island. No surprise when their family joins them. Donegan then confronts the group, takes the Transmuker, and after a fight with Gregorio, tries to destroy the Cortez family with it, but it malfunctions. Gertie reveals she sabotaged it and threatens Donegan with telling everything to her mother, which he detests. Romero arrives alongside his creatures and destroys the prototype Transmuker as well. The president and his staff arrive on the island. He and his daughter fire Donegan. Gary is temporarily disavowed, and Alexandra appoints Gregorio as director of the OSS. Even though he is offered a promotion, Junie resigns due to the impersonal treatment he had received by the OSS after being framed. As the Cortez family leaves the island, Romero gives Junie a miniature spider monkey as a gift, and the island's inhabitants bid farewell to the Cortez family. During the credits, Machete hosts a concert featuring Carmen with a microphone which helps her sing, and a belt that helps her dance, and Junie with a guitar that plays itself, but realizes too late that he never put any batteries in the devices before they went on stage. When he breaks this news to Carmen and Junie, this shocks them, realizing they have musical talent. And meanwhile, Dinky Winks, the owner of Troublemaker's theme park, where Junie had rescued Alexandra at the beginning of the movie, paddles to Romero's island to offer a business deal. Oh, that's cool. Alright, now let's do Spy Kids 3. 3D Game Over. Okay. Over a year after the events of the second film, Junie Cortez has retired from the OSS and now works as a private detective. One day, he is contacted by President Devlin, the former head of the OSS, who informs him that his sister Carmen Cortez is missing, forcing him to return to the OSS. At the OSS, Junie is reunited with a now reformed Donegan Giggles and his wife Francesca, who explains that Carmen is stuck in a game due to the Toymaker, a former OSS informant who was imprisoned in cyberspace. He has since created a game called Game Over, which is a VR-based video game which he intends to use to take control of children's minds and the world's youth. Junie must venture into the game, save Carmen, who is currently stuck on level 4, and shut down the game. In the game, Junie finds the challenges difficult and meets 3 bad testers, Francis, Arnold, and Rez. Having already lost 2 of his 9 lives, he receives the opportunity to bring in an ally for assistance and chooses wheelchair using grandfather Valentin, who shares a personal history with the Toymaker. Valentin receives a robotic bodysuit allowing him to walk and possesses superhuman strength. Searching for the entrance to level 2, Junie ventures into a robot battle arena where he fights a girl named Demetra. He receives a robotic suit and loses another life, but is able to defeat her. The bad testers believe that Junie is a player named The Guy, who can supposedly beat the unwinnable level 5. Rez challenges Junie to a race that will allow him to proceed to level 3. Junie wins the race and Demetra joins them. She and Junie display romantic feelings for each other, with him gifting her extra lives. meant for him and her, providing him with an illegal map of the game. Upon entering level 3, Arnold and Junie are forced to battle. Junie loses almost all of his life, but Demetra swaps places with him and is defeated, getting a game over. And finally, Junie reaches level 4 and reunites with Carmen. Carmen tells Junie that the toy maker is the reason their grandfather used the wheelchair. Fearing that Valentin might seek revenge and release the toy maker, Donegan attempts to prevent the group from reaching level 5. But it fails, as the other gamers start to suspect Carmen and Junie of being deceivers. The real guy appears, giving a rousing speech, and confidently walks into level 5, only to enter a trap, which instantly depletes all of his lives, giving him a game over. Demetra unexplicably returns, and Carmen identifies her as the deceiver, a program used to mislead players. She is not a real person. Demetra apologizes to Junie before the toy maker attacks them with giant robots, intending to keep them trapped in a game forever. Demetra helps the group escape back into the real world. Upon return, it is revealed that Valentin has released the toy maker into the real world with them. The villain's robots army attack the city. Junie and Carmen summon their family to help, but with too many robots to handle, Junie remembers Gertie Giggles telling him that everyone is his family. He calls out for everyone for help. This summons Floop, Minion, the Robot Children, Dinky Winks, and his son, Romero, Gary Giggles, and Gertie. And with that, the robots are destroyed. Valentin confronts the toy maker and forgives him for the accident he caused. The toy maker, having only wanted Valentin's forgiveness, shuts down his robot and joins the rest of the Cortez family and their friends in celebrating. Alright. Let's take this into the real game. The second film. Alright, sorry, the fourth one. Spy Kids all the time in the world. Alright, this will be the last one I do. So, OSS agent Marissa Wilson is attempting to capture a criminal named TikTok, who purchases a mini disc stolen from the OSS. Despite being 9 months pregnant and going into a labor, she continues her pursuit against the admonitions of her boss, Danger Diamo TikTok. Is captured, and the mini disc, which contains information on a weapon of mass destruction called Project Armageddon, is retrieved. At the hospital, Marissa meets her spy hunting TV host husband Wilbur and her 2 stepchildren and twins Rebecca and Cecil. Marissa gives birth to a daughter, Maria. A year later, Wilbur has created a 5-year plan in which, if his show is successful, he will spend more time with the kids. Rebecca does not accept Marissa as a replacement for her deceased mother and delights in pulling pranks on her. Attempting to strengthen her rapport with Rebecca, Marissa gives her a red sapphire necklace. The media reports that time is speeding up in an increased rate. A criminal mastermind called the Timekeeper claims responsibility, saying that he will unleash Project Armageddon as a punishment upon a society that he believes wastes time with meaningless pursuits instead of treasuring time with their loved ones. The Timekeeper demands that TikTok bring him the Chronos Sapphire, which is revealed to be the jewel in the necklace Marissa gave to Rebecca. The OSS calls Marissa out of retirement and instructs her to bring the sapphire with her. When Marissa asks for it from Rebecca, it further strains their relationship. At the OSS headquarters, Marissa discovers that Rebecca has swapped out the Chronos Sapphire for baby food. TikTok's henchmen break it into Marissa's house, and Rebecca and Cecil are directed to take refuge in a panic room, where they view a video of Marissa informing them of her secret career and that their dog Argonaut is a talking weaponized robot. The twins escape and go to the OSS headquarters, where Marissa's niece and step-cousin Carmen Cortez gives the twins a tour of the defunct Spy Kids division, allowing them to take a gadget as a souvenir each. The twins go after the timekeeper, where their search leads them to a clock shop, which is TikTok's headquarters. The twins view a video of the Wells experiment, which reveals the nature of the Chronos Sapphire in Rebecca's necklace, as it saves a boy frozen in time by the experiment. The twins are captured by TikTok but are rescued by Marissa and Carmen. Though TikTok manages to steal the sapphire, Wilbur begins an investigation to capture his first spy, and unknowingly he captures footage of his family fighting off the timekeeper's henchmen. Shocked to learn that Marissa is a spy, he gets fired when he destroys the footage that he and his cameraman filmed of the battle, and becomes estranged from Marissa and the children. As time continues to speed up, OSS agents are debriefed on the Wells experiment. The OSS shut down the experiment and placed the device under lockdown. Among the agents assigned to the case is Carmen's estranged brother, Junie Cortez, who comes back after a long time of being away. The twins confront Danger over the fact that his watch is similar to the one worn by the timekeeper, and his name is an anagram of Armageddon. He reveals that he is the timekeeper and imprisons them in their room. When a group of OSS agents led by Marissa, Carmen, and Junie return to the clock shop to confront the timekeeper, he freezes the agents in time using circularity in their ID badges, and does the same to 8 major cities. Junie, who wasn't frozen due to Carmen angrily throwing away his ID badge into the trash, manages to free Marissa and Carmen. Danger reveals the Armageddon device was created to travel back in time, and that his father was head of the Wells experiment, and he was the boy frozen in time. His father spends the rest of his life trying unsuccessfully to set him free. The OSS managed to shut down the experiment with a solution that literally fell from the sky. The Chronos Sapphire, now Danger plans to use the Armageddon device to go back in time to spend more time with his father. Cecil deduces that Danger has already tried this multiple times, but he comes back worse each time and reveals that TikTok and his minions are all versions of himself. Rebecca tells Danger that he should use what time he has wisely instead of trying to acquire more danger. Enters the finally open time vortex and goes to finally meet his father. Then he returns as an elderly form of himself and realizes that Cecil was right. He shuts down the device, and TikTok is apprehended by Wilbur, who is reunited with Marissa and the children, promising he won't have to have time for them. Instead, he will make time for them. Carmen and Junie announce they will co-lead a revived Spy Kids program, while Rebecca and Cecil become recruiters of new agents. Good stuff. Good stuff. Alright, thanks for watching.